Talk about Rahu in different houses in your horoscope. As per that, what are the results you can see, okay, in your overall life, your married life, spouse, money, wealth, or any other aspect of the life? What are the different you can say result that you can see as per Rahu place in the different houses? Rahu is placed in your first house of your horoscope. If Rahu is placed in the first house of your horoscope, so first house is our head, brain, ego, general health, mindset, or I can say overall our physical body is our first house, and it's like our ascendant. So Rahu is placed in ascendant or first house is like the same thing. Now, because Rahu is sitting over your head by sitting in the first house, so Rahu is strongly influence this person throughout the his life, because Rahu is sitting on you, yourself, your head, or your ascendant. Okay, so Rahu in the first house, if sometimes uh, give confusion. That is problematic thing. Like if Rahu is there in the first house, you may be confused about taking decision. Oh, should I do this or should I do that? Should I go to study abroad or should I stay in my home country? What if this happen? So it's like a confusion is there. Of course, like we have to see if other planet like Jupiter is aspecting or some other planet, then things can be different. Or full horoscope analysis is required for that, but generally it can possible. In positive way, Rahu here can make a person famous, or I can say it actually boosts your desire to become the famous, to become rich, to earn more and more materialistic pleasures, to earn more money, to become billionaire, to become the Rahu here can also make people, like you see some these executive persons, the CEO, or I can say the big person in some company. Okay, and all these people who want to become something big, or maybe some politician, right, who wants to just have some that control power, these kind of things can be seen when Rahu is placed in the first house. See, first house is like it is associated with overall your personality, or physical appearance also, then character, temperament, strength, weakness, all those things. Rahu presence in the first house can provide good result also to the native. Like for example, Rahu in the first house can give you sudden wealth. Yesterday you are rags and today you are rich. These things can be seen, right? Rahu in the first house can be that kind of placement. Rahu represents shadowness, okay, and like wit kind of thing. So the native, or I can say you who have this Rahu in the first house, can be blessed with the quality of this Rahu. What I can say, like you are like a witty kind of individual. It can make you a bit very extremely clever and witty kind of a person by this placement. Although you might be quite very tempered, sharp minded, intelligent also person, kind of person also be seeing, and also able to achieve higher position by your hard work, or I can say by doing your work, by focusing on your goals, you can also achieve higher positions in your life. Okay, obviously if negatively placed, then other influence can also be there, other things can also be there, but I would not like to discuss for negative kind of things in detail. See, every house has something positive, something negative. It doesn't like that in this house is positive. Its placement in every single house can give something positive, something negative, but for that full horoscope consultation is required. If let's say I am doing consultation and something negative can be seen, then we can advise to the person, okay, that you must have to do these things in your life, then it's really okay, or just try to avoid this thing. For that consultation is required. Now let's talk about Rahu in the second house. See, when Rahu is placed in the second house deal with family, lineage, speech, food, your family wealth, or I can say accumulated wealth, right, and so on. Rahu, when placed in the second house, it is seen that it make you a person who wants to go against society norms, okay, or like going against family, society kind of thing. Let's say for example, you have Rahu in the second house and you are in India, then it can make you a person who would like, oh, I will not do arranged marriages, I want to do intercaste marriage, I want to marry someone who is from different country, I want to marry someone who is from different religion, right? Or like in any country you would like to break the society norms and barrier. And generally I would like to tell you, as my point of view, see, these rules are created by human beings, these rules are not created by gods, and the only good rules are the rules that everyone must follow, is the rules that has been created by the god. But god hadn't created these rule, right? God created human beings, and human beings, some human being for the sake of their own benefit created these like stereotypes, like we are this and we are that, and you can't marry to that, and no, you can't do that. So all these are the, I really don't like personally, because it's really bad, creating these kind of rules, just dividing people is not good. But some people in the past did something due for the sake of their own benefit, due to which now all these things are there. Okay, so it make you that kind of rebellious person against going against society norms, and I really like it, right? If you can go against that, then it's really amazing, because at least you can change something. Okay, so thumbs up from my side if you can do that. So obviously it will make you a rebellious person who would like to break the tradition, rule, etc. So that's really, according to me, it's really a positive side, because not everyone had the courage to do that. So if a person is born with Rahu in the second house, it can give an unusual, unorthodox environment in early stages of his life. See, there might be honestly, in the early stages of your life, you can see if you have Rahu in the second house, until or unless some other planet is conjunct to aspect good benefic side, then it's like if some benefic planet is aspecting or conjunct, then things are good. But if not, Rahu is doing something bad over here. So in the early stages of your life will be really, very bad, I can say. Early stages when you are born, or like in the early childhood, may be problematic, because obviously it's the second house, the house of your family, and Rahu is placed there. So first house of your life, like before marriage, may be little bit struggle, and especially when you are child, then you may face some problem in your family. Okay, but again, full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now it can give parents, or I can say sibling, who will be very different from others. Okay, and now I'm not gonna explain like what different means, because so different is like little bit difference in, for different people different mean different thing. If Rahu is afflicted, then it can also separate you from family in the early stages life, like you may start to leave your family, live in foreign land, or like live away from family. These things can be seen in the early stages. Okay, but again, please don't get panic by listening just by a little bit of negative things, because see, full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture, but generally some important things I should have to tell that. Okay, so if Rahu in the second house, you will deal with it may possible that you have deal with the unorthodox family environment in your past. Okay, and also the linkage of the family will be 8th house. So you also, Rahu by sitting in the second house aspect the 8th house. So it may possible that you may come across people who are mystical or occult people, tarot card reader, astrologer, or like maybe you see some people who do black magic and all these kind of stuff. You may come across these kind of people also in your life. Okay, both positive and negative, because Rahu is aspecting the 8th house of these sciences. Also like the researcher, scientist kind of people can be seen, because 8th house is also for that. It may also possible that you have past life connection with these kind of occult kind of people. Okay, your family may have some astrologer, or like occult, or like surgeon, or like some life or death scenario you may have seen in the past. It may also possible. Okay, or like maybe like your family may have some astrologer, occult kind of a person. It can also be seen. Also possible that because of this placement, it can give you attraction towards like alien, UFO, and all these kind of different thing. See, Rahu is placed in the second house, and it's like the speech house also. So it can make you a person who can easily grip the crowd either by your performing arts, okay, or by your knowledge. Why? Because Rahu has the mystical energy. So when you speak, people are just mesmerized, okay. So that's why. Although if some malefic influence is also there in the second third house, then speech become harsh. And also I have seen that sometimes these people don't care what the hell they are speaking. Like if let's say for an example someone is like me, so I just try to think like, okay, if I say something, I should not, I always think before saying something that I should try to avoid hurting anyone's feeling, or like if I say something, it must make other people happy, right? Not just my always my intention is that I must not have to hurt anyone. But because of this placement of Rahu in the second or in the third house, right now we are talking about the second house, it may make you a people who can be little bit harsh sometime. Although when they speak, they get a draw attraction, right, by their creative talent, or work I can say like performing arts or like speech, but or their knowledge. But like sometimes their speech is so hard because they are like too much straightforward, right? So sometime you have to just try to avoid saying bad things to the people, okay. So if you can do that, that's really amazing. The second house sometime can also make person an excellent banker working in the banking sector. Why? Because over there you know Rahu wants you to focus on materialistic things and all these kind of money, etc. So by working over there dealing with the money, etc., Rahu feel good. So that's why because of second house it may also possible, okay. Although obviously full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture, but this is just a general thing that I would like to tell you. Rahu in the second house makes you, you know, very like definitely like there may be 100% we can say that it make you rich at certain point of your time, because second house, you know, second house is like the money, etc. also, and Rahu give you obsession towards that. So 100% you will be throughout making money. And it's like, you know, although we have to see other things also, but especially like the sign in which Rahu is placed, it behaves like that lord. Let's say Rahu is placed in the second house in Taurus sign, that means you are Aries ascendant. Then you're gonna have to analyze Venus also, because Rahu behaves as Venus, and even if Rahu's Mahadasha is going on, Rahu behavior is same as that of Venus. Why? Because Rahu is placed in the sign of Taurus. If Rahu is placed in the sign of Jupiter, then Rahu is behave as Jupiter, okay. So you're gonna have to see all these things. See, as I already told you, sometimes it can also give you a tendency to stay away from your family, to move out, and you will feel like you will have arguments with your family, fights, or I can say verbal arguments. So you feel like, oh, I should have to leave this home of my parents and I will live alone, it's better for me. So guys, just try to understand that you have this placement due to which these things are happening. So please try to just control, or I can say adjust, or I can say deal your situation according to that, okay. Also, because of Rahu in the second house, it makes you a person who acquire comprehensive knowledge about different languages, mostly in order to connect it with the high ranking lineage and historic values, okay. So guys, these are the I can say some general things that you have Rahu in the second house. If I just sum up, then as for the second house, Rahu makes you financially affluent, okay, irrespective of your status. Somehow you get to experience worldly comfort and luxury in your life because of Rahu, right? Because obviously sitting over here, it make you obsessed about these things, and once you are obsessed about something, you will just try to put hard work to achieve those things, okay. And you will mostly surrounded by well educated and I can say socially privileged people, okay. So this is all about the Rahu in the second house. Let's talk about now the Rahu is placed in the third house. So guys, when Rahu is placed in the third house, so guys, Rahu plays in the third house. Third house is the house of your courage, communication, short distance travel, media, marketing, writing, TV, and a lot of things. So first thing is that malefics in the third house make a person courageous, and I can say malefics in the third house give you tremendous courage, and Rahu in the third house 100% it make you a courageous human being. Okay, now Rahu is like a very, tell you that over here Rahu placement, if you have in the third house, Rahu is an outcast planet. It has different approach, or I can say an abnormal way to gain information, and also because it's placed in the third house of communication, so it may possible that it may give you abnormal communication. Okay, completely different kind of or if I just tell you honestly, it will give you harsh communication, very harsh. I have seen someone in my very close in family, like he has Rahu in the third house. He's a kind of a person who is like very, he's when he speak, he's so blunt honestly, and I can say so harsh with his word. If let's say you are seeing that if I say these words to that person, that these words will destroy or can say hurt person very badly, but for him it doesn't matter if his words hurts or not, he said that. And that's because of the Rahu placement in the third house. Okay, when Rahu is placed in the third house, you have this problem that you hurt people by your words. Try to control on your tongue, try to control on what you speak, because you speak so bluntly that people get hurt, or like can say people feel bad because of this, and like you may spoil your lots of relationship because of this placement. Although this is one of the best placement of Rahu, but because it make you courageous and lot of good things also there, but at the same time one bad thing, I would like to just give you a suggestion. Don't get panic, just a suggestion that it may possible, there are high chances that it can make you a person who just speak bluntly and very badly and don't even think before speaking, right? If you just use harsh word in your speaking, then you can make every single person on this planet your enemy. And I know that guy in my relations. I know that no person like him, everyone feel like he is like very bad, and some other thing is also going on, but honestly he is a kind of person, very harsh words. So I would like to advise you to just please just also, as Rahu is placed in the third house and it is the house of your younger sibling also, so if you have younger sibling, then it will spoil your relationship with your younger sibling. It may be possible that you have verbal arguments or fight with your younger sibling, and it may also possible that some situation arrive when you are like, okay, don't talk to me, and you have like very fight with your younger sibling, like the verbal kind of thing. So just try to control these things. I am telling you these things so that you can understand, okay, I have this placement due to which these problem are going on, now I will just always take care from the next time. That is the best thing about astrology, na? You know that you have this placement due to which this problem are occurring. So if you control yourself by using your free will, so you can at least change your life. Okay, see, Rahu also signifies computer related and technical field, and third house is the generally house of this communication, etc. Okay, so if it's placed like nicely or like get some benefic aspect, then it may also possible that in positive way it can give you like good career, or I can say name, fame in the field of communication, media, all these TV anchor kind of thing, or like making you a social media star, social media influencer. These things can also be seen. Also it can make you a person like a YouTube, these YouTubers who just use these I can say vulgar comedy kind of things. So it may also possible that you are good, but you use that vulgarity or like bad word kind of thing on YouTube and make that into a comedy kind of thing, due to which you become famous. So that can also depend, but it all depends upon how everything is working on. Okay, in your chart, all the planet conjunction aspect, everything you should have to analyze. For that, consultation is obviously required. Links are in description. A lot of renowned politician, actors can have this position in this chart, in their natal chart. Presence of Rahu in this house make native very clever. Okay, they know exactly how to use their position in order to make solid earning. Okay, it make you extremely clever human being, right? You use your position to make solid earnings. At some point of time in your life, you will definitely be, it makes you a person like who likely to possess solid intuition and psychic abilities. Also, you have psychic abilities, it may possible, like these intuitive abilities. I will create video soon on about like the intuitive abilities who will have. So it is one of those placement which can show that person have intuitive abilities. So guys, if I just generalize some positive things about Rahu in the third house, so I can just sum up by saying that Rahu in the third house will make one popular. Okay, these individuals are agile, positive and brave, very courageous person. They have tremendous courage. They may be able to learn the art of business, because third house is the house of self-employment and Rahu is there. So it may make you person who may learn to do their own business. And also I would like to mention that the person in my relation also hate doing job. He is like doing something of his own. Okay, they earn good money and have good fortune overall in their life. This is the positive side. Okay, but other side can also be seen, or like recommended some good things, if full horoscope consultation is obviously required for that. Now guys, let's talk about Rahu in the fourth house. So fourth house represent your homeland, your real estate, mother, your happiness, like whatever you do in your life. One thing is important is the happiness. How we get happiness is by fourth house. What kind of what's the situation over fourth house tell us whether we are happy or not in our life. Conveyance, storage, and also the spouse career. Your spouse career can also be seen by fourth house, by making your seventh house ascendant. Fourth house is like the 10th house of your spouse, so that's why. So all these things can be seen. Also like the kind of home you have, the cars, the kind of the real estate, all these things can be seen by the fourth house. So if Rahu is there in the fourth house, so there might be a problematic, or I can say chaotic situation happen in your homeland. And sometime I also seen that if Rahu is there and like the dasha started and like they are at the right age, then these people leave their foreign lands. These people leave their homeland and settle into the foreign land, because Rahu in the fourth house just make you very uncomfortable at your homeland, the country you born in. It definitely makes you to live away from your family, because see, once you start living away from your family, you will feel like, oh, now I have peace of mind, now I have things that I want, it wants to be. Okay, and if you start living in this, if you just keep living in the same place, then you might have to face challenges and obstacles in your life, definitely. But I have seen that like if Rahu is there in the fourth house is afflicted and other placements are also there, then these guys just leave their country and just settle down in the foreign land. It's one of the indication of foreign lands settlement. Fourth house is also the real estate, land. So as I told you, so Rahu 8 can take you to the foreign land, far away place. And also Rahu in the fourth house makes you a person who is fond of fancy cars. Okay, and even your education have Rahu influence. Maybe you just want to educate in computer kind of a field, or like this technology kind of field, because Rahu is influencing your basic kind of education kind of thing. So overall, like I can say that you may be very the person who love these rich cars, and like I can understand like the very expensive cars. So see guys, because of this placement, it may possible that you hate your homeland, or like you do not have very good attraction to you. Feel like, oh, where I get born, this culture is so bad. I born in this country, this country has so bad culture. Look at that country, their culture is amazing, their culture is brilliant, their culture is that, our this and that. Our country in which I born in, this culture is really frustrating, I get frustrated living. So these things can happen, okay, because Rahu is sitting in your homeland house, that is fourth house. Also, it can give you strong desire to own home, or like land, or like the property, like the real estate kind of thing is prominent in you. And also attraction towards the, I can say, luxury or expensive cars. See, even if Rahu is not able to settle you in the foreign land by placing in the fourth house, I have seen that because Rahu is there in the fourth house, it may be possible that you may involve in some kind of work due to which you have to go to foreign lands, then maybe come back to your homeland. So it keep you time to time away from your homeland, right? These things can be seen. Uh, disturb native concentration, or I can say peace of mind, because Rahu is there in the fourth house of your peace of mind, happiness, and then you feel time to time, no matter how much good things you have, you will feel like from inside there's some frustration they have. But these things just reduce when they live in foreign lands, because till you just stay there in the land that you born and you have Rahu in the fourth house, then these irritation and all these kind of agitation is there inside you. And same goes for the Mars. If you have Mars in the fourth house, then again same goes for this. But once you leave your homeland and you have Rahu in the fourth house and you start living the foreign land, that's when you start to feel like happiness and all these kind of good things, okay, because Rahu wants you to live away from your homeland. That's why he's sitting in your fourth house, and you just follow his order that, okay, I will live away from my homeland. So then he was like, okay, if you can do that, I will give you happiness. Okay, so that's what it means. Also guys, Rahu placement in the fourth house, it is seen that you likes to, I can say, like pay a lot of attention to your home decoration, furnishing, styling, like making your home very fancy, very different looking, like interior kind of thing, like making home something different so that it can stand out from all other people. Your home must look very fantastic and different. It's like the better from other neighbors. That kind of things can also be seen when Rahu is there in the fourth house. So if I should sum up some positive things about the Rahu in the fourth house, so I can say that Rahu in the fourth house is a placement of Rahu that provide power, acknowledgement, reputation also. Native might experience sudden gains in terms of wealth, power, business, and it also provide intelligence and wisdom. So guys, this is all about Rahu in the fourth house. Again, there's lot of negativity also. I have discussed some things that will be there. But again, full horoscope consultation is required to see if some planet is conjunct, nakshatra, aspect. Then it's like a beautiful thing. Okay. Now guys, let's talk about Rahu in the fifth house. So see guys, fifth house is the house of children, our education, like our bachelor's education. Okay. Then it's the house of film industry, arts, stock market, media, script writing, mantras, like the kind of mantra ucharana, making person mantra ucharana kind of thing. Sports can also be seen, like the sportsman can also be seen by fifth house. Then speculative business and ancient knowledge of Vedas, etc. And also the you can say the gains from the spouse, because fifth house falls 11 places away from your seventh house. That is the gains of your spouse. And a lot more things can be represented by fifth house. So now Rahu is placed in the fifth house. Okay, so definitely it will exploding energy in the house, okay, of intelligence, wisdom, past life connection, or like the past life deed can also be seen by the fifth house. Okay, along with all those kind of education, art, media, mantras, sports, film industry, speculative business like stock market, making movies, all these kind of things. So now the question arrives, Rahu is like fifth house can give positive or negative results. So it can give positive or negative both depending upon other factors, right? But generally But generally by Rahu in the fifth house, it may possible that you may be like interested in software kind of a thing, computer sciences, coding, artificial intelligence. And also by sitting in the fifth house, Rahu aspect ninth house by its fifth aspect. Okay, 5 6 7 8 9. Rahu by its fifth aspect its ninth house also. So it makes you to go against the traditions again, going against the social norms, society, and going against your all the barriers. Rahu in the fifth house is like wants to break the barriers. Again, if you have arranged marriage kind of scenario, Rahu say no, I will not do arranged marriage. I hate it. Literally, I hate it. These kind of person, like, I hate arranged marriage. I hate arranged marriage. I hate the culture of my country. Of these things. Okay, they wants to break the barriers. Also, they have very, although Rahu in the fifth house can make a person extremely intelligent. Okay, they have very unique, creative kind of mindset. Interest in investing a stock market, but although because Ketu is there in the 11th house when Rahu in the fifth house, because both of them are opposite to each other, due to which investing in stock market can be very tricky for them. Okay, so it's like, but it can give them interest about reading about the stock market and all these kind of things, like so also Rahu in the fifth house is the house of love, romance also. So it may make them like their life focus is like more and more indulge in love, romance, and lust, and opposite sex attraction can also be seen a lot, and especially if they go through Rahu Mahadasha. Okay, now because of its aspect, Rahu's placement in the fifth house, by its ninth aspect, it also aspect your first house. So it affects your overall personality. Okay, your overall personality is affected by Rahu placement in the fifth house also. Okay, so due to which you are like going against the tradition, and also it can make you famous, because like Rahu in the fifth house can make a person good in like arts, film industry, drama, acting, and also you can become a YouTuber, or like social media influencer, Instagrammer, or any kind of TikToker, or anything like from smaller level to like the bigger celebrity like Tom Cruise. You can become anything by this. Also, depending upon sign placement aspect, it can give you any of these things. Okay, but obviously a full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now guys, see, presence of planet in the fifth house show that you wants to achieve creativity, social status, like the celebrity realm. These people wants to become celebrity kind of a people. Okay, and they are also very political kind of people. They are good in, it can also be seen that they are like the diplomatic kind of a person. Okay, they if you have this placement, then you loves to take center of the stage. Okay, and like big on the thing, involve creativity, art, and maybe interest in gambling also. If it go the worst side, then these guys indulge in gambling and smoking, and like what I can say, like drinking a lot. If you have this placement, and if you smoke or drink a lot, or I can say medium level, then just try to reduce that day by day, because if you don't do that, then it's like getting worse and worse day by day. So just try to avoid drinking and smoking as much as you can, because of Rahu is there in the fifth house already. It's like there are some negative sides, like extreme negative sides also, because of this placement and every single placement, but I just try to avoid that. Okay, for that, if someone I see in consultation, I just try to give them like advice about remedy, etc. Also guys, now Rahu is there in the fifth house. So if I just generalize some positive thing, then it's like Rahu in the fifth house is quite helpful to become successful actor, or like any kind of film industry, or like the YouTuber, or like any Instagram influencer, like someone who is like the center of the attraction, like the center of the stage kind of thing, or like politician also, or like a sportsman also. It's really fantastic position, one of the best position to become like actor, politician, sportsman. Okay, also it makes a person very creative in their life, very creative human being. Creativity just come from them. because of this placement. Also, it make native very speculative kind of a person, like their nature is very speculative. Okay, so these are like some positive kind of thing that you can see by this placement. But guys, again, full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now let's talk about the sixth house, guys. Now let's talk about Rahu is placed in the sixth house. So see guys, sixth house is the house of our enemies, obstacle, health, dispute, allegation, diseases, and also our day-to-day life, or like the service kind of thing, like what services we provide to the people. Okay, now you place Rahu over here, or I can say Rahu is placed in the sixth house of your chart, lagna chart, or like the D1 chart. Rahu is in your sixth house. Also, it's the house of like the pets. Okay, like the pets kind of a house that we have, like the dogs or like cats, etc., the pet animal that we have. It's the house of that also. Okay, now guys, one good thing is that sixth house is considered generally good placement of Rahu. When Rahu is placed in the sixth house, it is considered generally a good placement, or I can say good location for Rahu, because malefics in the 6, 8, 12 are always good. Okay, because why they are good, just try to imagine. If let's say sixth house is the house of your enemies, and you have, let's say, benefics in the sixth house, then you do not have that kind of thing that you can win over your enemy, because you do not have that fighting spirit, because benefics are there in the sixth house, benefics in front of enemy, then they are like, oh, we shouldn't have to fight, fights are bad and these things. Okay, but you have Rahu in the sixth house, and now your enemy is standing there and Rahu is standing in front of them. They're like, hey, I'm gonna mess if you don't mess with me, don't mess with me. If you're gonna do that, I will just beat you or kill you, whatever. So that's why, like, it's like generally I just give you a very very basic example to let you explain, but in future I can explain the detail also. Fix in the 6, 8, 12 is generally considered good. Okay, although some exceptions are also there. And also in the third house, malefics makes a person extremely courageous, although negative sides are also there. Now guys, Rahu in the sixth house makes the native that likes to take benefits of privilege associated with the dominance. You guys are like, or I can say the people who have Rahu in the sixth house are expert in handling conflicts. Okay, sensibly. That's the good thing, that you guys can handle conflict sensibly and fairly and efficiently. Most importantly, you guys have this tendency, or I can say this is strength, that you can handle conflict with very good efficiency. Now Rahu in the sixth house makes you a person who might go through a lots of hardship in your life. Sorry, unfortunately this is true, but eventually get success. Okay, by providing services to other, by defeating enemy, by defeating your problem. Yes, Rahu in the sixth house can give you hardships in your life, but 100%, one point of your time in your life, you will overcome them, and you will definitely 100% you will gain, I can say, like the success by providing, because sixth house is the house of services, like services or like these kind of things to other, or defeating your enemy. You will definitely get success in your life. Also, the one best thing about Rahu in the sixth house, that your enemy will not able to harm you. Rahu in the sixth house make you a person whose enemy, like, you will win over your enemy, or I can say your enemy might not able to harm you because of this placement of Rahu. Okay, now guys, Rahu when well placed over here, so it's like an abundance of wealth, or I can say gain through inheritance, can also be observed with this placement. In some chart, if Rahu is placed in good condition in the sixth house, then I can say like the good wealth, abundance, or like inheritance, these things can also be seen. native would be a quite courageous and a bold person by Rahu is placed in the 6th house. Okay, now if guys generally I have to summarize Rahu placement in the 6th house, then I can say the good thing is that only I will talk about now the positive effects, some good, that when Rahu in the 6th house, and it make you a person that may be very good at managerial abilities, because of which they can resolve conflict, okay, in a very good, very efficient manner. Okay, it make you a person who has this capabilities, who can just handle, or I can say resolve others conflict. Okay, usually they are very generous and also have a strong desire to serve others. Okay, because Rahu is there, so it makes you a very generous person and you have a strong desire to serve other, because I already told you 6th house is also the, like, services kind of thing, especially those who are facing like the tough, or like, because see 6th house is all these kind of like tough, like bad health or like litigation or all these kind of things. So you are a kind of a person who is like to serve other, who is facing some difficult situation in your life. Okay, so all these, like the positive side, can be seen by Rahu in the 6th house. Now guys, let's talk about Rahu in the 7th house. The 7th house is the house of our legal binding, our marriage partner, okay, our spouse. This is the first thing that we see when we talk about like the 7th house. Also, 7th house is the house of our business partnership, sexual relation. The people that we make sexual relation with is like the 7th house. Okay, and a lot more things can also be represented by 7th house. It also represent other people, like your public life, etc. Okay, so presence of planet which is Rahu in the 7th house, it's actually very suspicious, very, I can say, auspicious kind of a placement. Okay, uh, it makes you person who is surrounded with the people who appears to be friendly, but they aren't actually trustworthy. Like, you have to be careful about this, because of Rahu over here in the 7th house. It may possible that you may again and again come, like people come in your surrounding, that they are like, oh, you feel like, oh, they are my good friend, they are amazing, they are very friendly, but from inside they are not trustworthy. So if you do any business partnership, if you give someone money and you feel like he is my good friend, I can start business with him, and you doesn't make any contract just by using word like, oh, he is my friend, and you have Rahu in the 7th house, I am just telling you, just be aware. Always try to make contracts, always try to have proofs, no matter how much good friend is there, whom which you are making business, or whom which you are thinking like, oh, he's like a great friend of mine, he's very friendly. See, Rahu makes you again and again come across the people who are like cheat you, okay, or I can say not trustworthy. So it's like an advice, because now you know astrology and you are listening this video, so you must have to keep this in mind. Okay, now it may also, because Rahu is placed in the 7th house, so it makes you obsessed about relationship. Like, you find one girl or boy, you get married to that person, or you are in relationship with that person, then you will like to have with another, then you will like to have with another, then you will like to have with another. This is the problem. And also I have seen that when Rahu in the 7th house, it give you a feeling like, if let's say you find someone, you feel like he's perfect for me or she is perfect for me, then you think, wait, what if there is some other girl or other boy who is better than this one? Should I marry this, or should I just keep him or her as an option and just try to find another one? So this is the biggest problem. When Rahu in the 7th house, it makes you a person who, even if love someone very by heart, even then some in your mind you have this thing going on constantly, like, oh, I am marrying to this girl, what if I can find someone better in the future? Like, same goes for the girl. If she has Rahu in the 7th house, she's like, I am marrying this man, but what if like there is some other man who is better than that? So you have to understand that if you have these thoughts in your mind, then it is because Rahu is there in 7th house and it is giving you obsession about your marriage partner. Okay, so just try to control that by your free will. Just try to understand. Now you know astrology, you are learning astrology, you are just listening these videos, watching my videos, so you just use your intelligence, right, and use your free will to control that. Okay, if you think you are you are able to find the right partner, then go ahead and get married to that person, because it make you, even if you leave this person that you want to love and you think that you will find someone better, then you will find someone better, then you again feel like, oh, I will find someone better, then you leave that second person, then you can go for third, then you go for fourth, then you can go for infinite possibilities, and still you feel unsatisfied. So that is the biggest problem over here. So you have to keep that in mind. I am just telling you these things today so that you can just improve your life by listening that, okay, I have this placement, this problem, this placement, so I can just do these things, so my life will be better, guys. However, this position of Rahu might even bring sudden gains to the native. Okay, they may suddenly get some business opportunity or some gains in their life, due to which they can make good money. Okay, now guys, see, if it is like very malefically aspected, very everything is chaotic and very bad is going on here, Rahu in the 7th house, then there are very negative circumstances can also be possible, but I would not like to talk about that, because obviously full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. If I use those words in this video, then you guys start to run panic and have like tension, then I don't want that. I want people to have happiness in their life by listening to my videos, not like the chaotic life. Okay, so again, I am just adding that full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. I am just telling you some important things, at least some good things I can say. So the inherent taboo breaking nature is seen, right? Breaking the barrier is seen, because obviously Rahu is there in the 7th house. By its 7th aspect, it is aspecting the 1st house, so it is aspecting overall your ascendant. So native has this tremendous kind of qualities like, I want to break the barriers, I do not like to follow the traditions, all these things are bad, and all these things can be seen because Rahu is there in the 7th house. So guys, overall, if I sum up some good positive things about Rahu in the 7th house. So Rahu in the 7th house offers one, a blissful life. Their life is filled with tons of emotions, love, affection, fondness and respect. Also, they have well balanced and happy married life. Rahu is likely to help them run their business and profit, and besides, they will be experiencing unexpected gains in lifetime and again. Okay, now I've just discussed the positive side if Rahu is working in the positive way. Okay, but again, full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. I just try to avoid all the negativities. Now guys, let's move on and see what will happen when Rahu is placed in the 8th house. Rahu is placed in the 8th house in your horoscope. Now 8th house represent occult, mysticism, surgery, research, hidden knowledge, secrets, I can say secrecy, joint secrets, spouse, family, your in-laws, assets, insurance, inheritance, wills, stocks, and a lot more. Okay, so now Rahu is placed in your 8th house. Okay, now one thing is there, when Rahu is placed in the 8th house, it keep you interact with the affairs of the family, inheritance, spouse, family, secrecy, hidden affairs, like hidden information, research, like you constantly come across these things in your life. Maybe you have some work with family of your spouse, maybe you just have something that you have to take care of, some inheritance kind of thing is going on, maybe you just working in some secret agency, government kind of thing, maybe you have some hidden thing in your life, maybe you are working in some research field like the data science kind of thing, but Rahu can constantly make you to interact with these things when Rahu is there in the 8th house. Now here definitely Rahu wants you to deal with secrecy. Okay, it is a beneficial placement for the people who involve in the field of like that like any field that have high risk, okay, like native working as detective, like the any kind of these these detectives, these row agent, CBI agent, or I can say what you call that CIA agent, and like the FBI agent, all these kind of like undercover agent kind of thing, intelligence bureau officer, secret investigator, and like person who is working in high risk kind of a field. So it's really beneficial for them. Rahu wants them to work like Rahu puts certain situation in your life that you have to work over here, or maybe working in the mining kind of thing, working in occult sciences, working as an these data scientist kind of thing. Okay, yes, because Rahu is placed in your eighth house, so it makes you a person who just loves to deal with hidden matter, hidden things, risky, secret, confidential information. So basically, Rahu in the eighth house makes you a native, or makes you a person who is like interested in anything which is hidden, which is different realm, different world kind of thing. That can be anything like the paranormal things, like astrology, tarot card reading, research, working in the mines, working as an investigative, like the all these kind of like undercover agent or officers, like the a detective kind of mentality it will give you. You will feel like really amazing when you involve in these fields because of Rahu is over here. Rahu in the eighth house also bring lots of unexpected change in your life. Okay, uh, see now what it is, whether it's positive or negative, that depends upon your chart. Okay, for that obviously full horoscope consultation is required, but in general, but now summing up, in general, Rahu placement in the eighth house, uh, in the positive sides, say that person will attract wealth in his life. They might possess a very high intuition and be a good maker of right decision in their life. They also possess high intellectual and are surrounded by well educated people in their life, and also sometimes it's working positively, they can find some hidden money also. But again, I just talk about only positive side. There's lot of more things that we can talk about, but again, for that full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now let's talk about Rahu in the ninth house. Now guys, when Rahu is placed in the ninth house represent your teachers, preachers, religion, father, pilgrimage, higher learning, long distance travel, and a lot of things. And most importantly, like the long distance travel, the guru that you deal in your life, the masters or like the post grad education that you have in their life, advisors, teacher, or like any people, like any person in life who is like your guru, who's like your advisor. So all these people that you can have in your life, all these things can be represented by ninth house. And also opportunity that you get to travel different, like the overseas long distance travel, can also be seen by ninth house. Now guys, also the ninth house is the house of like the pilgrimage and fortune, or I can say your luck. Okay, now when Rahu is placed over here, Rahu in the ninth house, you a very extremist human being. Okay, it indicates that your inclination towards religious, or I can say higher learning, the presence of Rahu here can create an obsession with the things, okay, related to the ninth house obviously. So the native is likely to be obsessed, or I can say you are likely to be obsessed with the idea of developing higher wisdom in life. Okay, so you are obsessed about all these ninth house of things that I already told you. Native, or like I can say you, gets happiness by devoting yourself into like the mystical, or I can say enlightening aspects of the life. Also it may possible that you likes to travel to foreign lands, like because Rahu in the ninth house, it may possible that because see, Rahu is placed in the ninth house. Rahu itself is a foreign planet. He likes foreign things. He like like if someone has a strong influence of Rahu, especially on the ascendant, then these guys are like they love foreign companies, foreign work, foreign women's, foreign men's, foreign people, foreign culture, like foreign brands, everything foreign. And now Rahu is like the foreign planet. It is placed in the ninth house of like the long distance, like the foreign land kind of thing. So you have great interest in traveling to the foreign land, or like the just building some kind of relation with the people of like the foreign land kind of things can be seen because of Rahu's placement over here. Now Rahu placement in the ninth house can make you a scholar also. Okay, a very scholar, a great scholar person. Okay, a great scholar can be seen because of Rahu in the ninth house. You will completely have a different approach to religion. Okay, so like for an example, if you have Rahu in the ninth house, or like Rahu is influencing your ninth house, in that case you are a kind of person like everyone is doing like the puja, or like the prayer to the god in some particular place, like any temple, church, or something like that. Then you are like a person, because of Rahu's placement, they were like, oh, but god is everywhere, we can just do prayers to everywhere. So you can just have like a dedicated slot, or like this spot in your home or in your room, where you can just pray to the god every single day. In your office, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So like something very different can be seen because of Rahu in the ninth house. Okay, it makes you that kind of a person also, who just have this different I can say approach about their religion. Also it makes you a person who will not definitely likes to follow traditions, who wants to break the barriers, who wants to just hate doing like the things that are just all people are doing. Let's say for an example, again I'm just giving the same example, like people do arranged marriage in India. Then Rahu in the ninth house is like, hey, but why should I do arranged marriage? I hate arranged marriages. People have to do love marriages. Why this culture we have to do arranged marriage? It's bad, right? So it makes you a person who likes to break the barriers, and that's really good. Rahu in the ninth house can also make you a person who just develop inclination toward technology, software, research, astronomy also. Okay, here Rahu might not be very bad for education, but you will understand the philosophy and spiritual talks more than going to temples or do traditional puja. It means simple. Rahu in the ninth house makes you like person who can understand like the spiritual kind of things, but you hate the traditions. Like for traditions you go to every single day temple, or like any mosque, or like any church. Instead of doing that, you feel like I can just gain information by reading these things, and like having some spiritual talks, or I can just chant these mantra by sitting 10 minutes to my home. I can also do that. God is everywhere. So that kind of attitude can also be given by Rahu in the ninth house. Now Rahu in the ninth house aspect lagna, or I can say first house, by its fifth aspect, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2. Okay, which makes you a person who is like an attention seeker, restless, and a very selfish also. Okay, also Rahu by ninth house sitting, it aspect third house by its seventh aspect, which can make you your communication skills quite expressive, or I can say impressive. Okay, communication skill can be impressive, but a little bit sometime if it's like a badly impact, then it's like a very harsh communication sometime can be seen. So you have to just try to avoid that. So generally, if I just generalize Rahu in the ninth house positive side, then Rahu in the ninth house provide individual with high knowledge in both spiritual and academic field. It can make you a very affluent and wealthy person. It will also bring luck and fortune in one's life. Okay, this is all about ninth house. Although full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now let's talk about the 10th house. Guys, let's talk about 10th house. What happened when Rahu is placed in the 10th house? So what does 10th house represent? 10th house represent your karmas, your name, fame, government kind of thing in your life, reputation, and especially your career. Your career is represented by 10th house. One thing for sure, if you have Rahu in the 10th house, then surely you want to have great image in the world. and if everything goes well, then 100% you will have that, because it is one of the indication that person will get fame, person will be famous. Rahu in the 10th house show that. Although on negative note a little bit, it show ups and downs in the career, but upside, which person doesn't have but ups and downs in the career can be like Amitabh Bachchan has also have the ups and downs in his career. If you see his story, and now he's like the legendary Amitabh Bachchan, right? So it by just listening, oh, I have ups and downs, it doesn't mean that you are like negative. Ups and downs can be like, if like sometime it's working negative, then once it work positive, then it will give you such a tremendous success, like you have seen Amitabh Bachchan. I'm not saying that he has Rahu in not saying that he has Rahu in the 10th house. I don't remember that, but like I'm just giving you example. The 10th house is one of the Artha houses, and Rahu in the Artha houses, which will definitely makes you a very money minded person. Here fame will definitely come to you, but you have to put extra efforts to be famous. Obviously 100% people should know you by your face, okay, face name kind of thing is there. And whatever your work you do is like you're showing your face, working in front of the camera is important. Like there is two kind of work, one person work behind the camera for everything, and one person is like the in front of the camera. So Rahu is that, like 10th house is one of the position of working in front of the camera, like apart from all other things, okay. Like for example, it means you just come across and just show your face kind of thing is important when Rahu is there in the 10th house. Now because Rahu is there in the 10th house, you should try to start your YouTube channel or like social media, Instagram influencer kind of thing. It may possible that if you keep putting hard work or efforts on something and you have Rahu in the 10th house, you may gain lot of followers in the future. You may become some big YouTuber also, big Instagram influencer also, okay. And these things can be seen because Rahu is there in your 10th house. Obviously when Rahu sit in the 10th house, so by its fifth aspect, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, it aspects your second house of your money, family, etc. So it will definitely affect your speech, saving, food, family life, okay. And also by its seventh aspect, it aspects the fourth house, so like it will also influence your happiness, mother, education, your home, right? And also by its ninth aspect, it aspects the sixth house, which is the house of enemy, diseases, disputes. So all the influence of these things can also be influenced by Rahu's placement in the 10th house. Now I see Rahu in the 10th house, like the placement of the Rahu in the 10th house of natal chart is considered quite favorable for the native, as mostly it provides good results and make native workaholic personality. Like you see some people who just obsessed about the work, like see in whichever house Rahu is placed in your chart, you are obsessed about those things. So if Rahu is placed in the 10th house, definitely you are obsessed about your career. You have really obsession about like I want to be at the top position, I want to be the famous, I want to be at the CEO or like the head of the company, or I want to be the business owner. Like you are very workaholic kind of a person, very work oriented, career oriented kind of a person. It makes native like you tends to be very hardworking and intelligent with the capability of reaching the heights of your career, okay. Because Rahu is placed over here, if you work with strong dedication and like hard work, which apparently you will be because Rahu is there in the 10th house, so you will definitely reach at the heights in your career. Also you will be well respected in career, in your society, and like people respect you, and because you will gain so good status of, because Rahu is there in your 10th house. Now for sure, if like some negative, in fact like negative affluence is there, aspect is there, conjunction is there, then things will be different. But obviously full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture, but generally these things are seen. Now finally let's talk about like the sum up of Rahu in the 10th house, some positive things. Rahu in the 10th house leads to a learned and adventurous life. One may travel far and wide and feel more comfortable in the company of foreigners. That can also be possible. it makes the individual smarter and clever also. Also they will win name and fame through their hard work in their life. Okay, so these are general some positive things, but again full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now let's talk about the Rahu in the 11th house. 11th house is the house which represent your recognitions, your achievements, awards, big organization, multinational companies, your desires, your wishes, like your social circle, your friends, your elder sibling, professional network that you have. Okay, and so like so all these things are represented by 11th house. And now you place Rahu over here, or I can say Rahu is placed in the 11th house in your chart. It is an excellent placement. What? Yeah, it is an excellent placement from materialistic point of view, because Rahu is there in your 11th house of gains and desire. So it makes you more and more obsessed about like gaining money, gaining this and gaining that. You have lots of desire, and then Rahu is there like, oh, I have to complete my desire. You have to complete your desire. So like Rahu is obsession, and it's placed in the house of desire. So you have obsessions about your desire, like I will have to do it, I will have to do it. That's why it's really good in terms of money, etc. And 11th house is the house of gains also. Okay, so it throughout your life you are just chasing these money gains, making money from this and that, investing in stock market, earning money through mutual fund, all these kind of things can be seen. Also guys, because Rahu is there in your 11th house, so it makes you a person who is blessed with influential and wealthy and powerful friends. Definitely Rahu being placed in the 11th house makes you a native who have very influential people. Like some people who have these millionaire or billionaires, or like, at least I shouldn't have to use that word, or I can say some powerful persons they know, like they have friend circle with like some politicians or like some powerful persons, like good officers. And like like if let's say you are working in some corporate giant, and like you have some Rahu in the 11th house, then you have good relations or like network. Somehow you have network circle with the higher officials who are sitting in the head office, which helps you to gain promotion, etc. These things can also be seen. Okay, because Rahu is there in your 11th house. You get great happiness and support from social connections, both materially and emotionally, because Rahu is placed in the 11th house. So definitely you will get but like happiness and support from social connection. You like the social connection that you make, both materially, that means in terms of money, and also emotionally you will get good things from them. But obviously again we need to analyze full chart. If some malefic influence is there, then things can be different, but generally all the planets in the 11th house are give good results. Okay, now along with that, it like you should have to be, I can say, cautious and beware of your enemies. Okay, in form of friends, especially because Rahu is placed in the 11th house. 11th house, along with lot of things, it also the house of your friends. And now because Rahu is there, so I should just give you an advice that always beware about your friends. It may possible that some of your friends are your enemy. They make friendship with you, and then they may just try to do something wrong with you, or just cheat you or something like that. So you have to be, just no matter how much friends you have to be open your senses, because I have seen this. Like it may also possible that you have great friendship, like lots of friends, then one of your friends is do something like due to which you get scandaled, or you get some problem in your life because of one of your friends. Okay, these things can also be seen, but depending upon other things we need to analyze a lot of things for that. Okay, there are chances of like the backstabbing through your friends sometime, because Rahu is there in the 11th house. So along with all the positive things, it's like the negative things are also there. And one thing I want to advise, that always keep that in mind, that no matter how much good friends you have, it may possible that some of them are there who can just backstab you. So always just I can say just deal with your friend by using your brain. Okay. Nevertheless, this is one of the best position for multi-level, or I can say network marketer. Or if you are involved in network marketing, if you see MLM, multi-level marketing business, and you have Rahu in the 11th house, go ahead. You can make a lot of money through this placement. Okay. Now, summing up the positive effect, like the some positive things about the Rahu, I can say Rahu in the 11th house. Rahu in the 11th house makes you courageous, intellectual, affluent, and almighty. They might get their desire fulfilled without much hard work. That's really amazing. These guys, their desire will be fulfilled without much hard work, because Rahu is there in the 11th house. And also 11th house is the house of like the upacha house, so it's grow better with time. So as soon as you grow in your life pass, then you will start to feel like the positive side of Rahu will come up, okay, by placing the 11th house. Also, they are likely to be lucky, which may help them to get what they want in their life, because obviously it's placed in the 11th house of desire, so it's overall it's like a good thing. So guys, this is all about Rahu in the 11th house. Although for full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Now let's talk about Rahu in the 12th house. Guys, Rahu in the 12th house. See, 12th house represent moksha, isolation, enlightenment, living away from civilization, or like the civilized society. Like some people live in the mountains alone, or like some live in jungle, or like people living away can also be seen by 12th house. Then bad pleasures, sexual pleasures can be seen by 12th house. Foreign lands, your imaginations, addiction to sex can be seen by 12th house. And along with lots of many things like expenditure and lots of things, it can also represent, like in today's era, it's like 12th house is mostly popular for the foreign lands. Okay. So and lots more things can be represented by 12th house. Now what happened when this planet Rahu is placed in the 12th house? See guys, Rahu when placed in the 12th house, it shows like under the influence of like this some benefic planet, it is likely to provide the native with the benefic I can say benefit from the hospital, jail, or isolated places, or like some foreign land. Like if it's working positive, so it may possible that some may be working in like some jail warden, or like working in hospital, like maybe doctor, or like making money through these things, or like someone who is just settling in foreign land or doing business with foreigners, or like foreign land kind of. So getting benefits from these places can be seen when Rahu is working in the positive way for your chart. Honestly, telling something like telling in detail about the Rahu in the 12th house is not good, because it doesn't have that much positive sides. It still has some positive side. For that, full horoscope consultation is required. But like if you have Rahu in the 12th house especially, I would like to recommend some remedies. Okay, if you start eating your meals by sitting in the kitchen, it's really beneficial for your Rahu. Okay. Now see, if you have Rahu in the 12th house, it means that it wants you to be like towards the spiritual kind of things. So I would like to suggest you some remedies. If you have Rahu in the 12th house, you are facing problem. So so you can do remedy, some basic remedy, like you can start eating your meals, your daily meals, or I can say at least one meal a day in kitchen. This is fantastic remedy of Rahu. What you have to do, you have to eat food sitting on the floor. Okay, I want to do this simple remedy. If wherever your kitchen is, go there, have something like the mat etc on your floor. Okay, open that, just sit on the floor in your kitchen and then eat food over there. This is one of the best remedy and the simplest remedy a person can do in his life. Rahu will become more and more worst when you eat food on sitting on the bed etc. If you want to improve Rahu, or like reduce the negative effect of the Rahu, then start eating meals in kitchen, and especially by sitting on the floor. Just I want you to do simple thing. Your wife is making food every single day, at least like you can just like let's say at dinner every single day, If your wife is making food, just go there, or anyone is making food, go there, open some mat or like any cloth, etc., put that on the floor, just sit there, have food by sitting on the floor in the kitchen is one of the best remedies of the Rahu, and especially when it is placed in the 12th house. It doesn't have that much positive to tell, so that's why I just tell you like some positive side little bit and then this remedy. Okay, see, there are lots of other remedies etc that you people can do, but according to that full horoscope consultation is required, but this is like the best remedy. Okay, like the simple remedy that almost any person on this planet can do, and especially if you have Rahu in the 12th house, I want you from tomorrow, just what you have to do, you have to start doing this. Let's say you have lots of health problem, you have this problem, you have that problem, you have Rahu in the 12th house, you feel that you have this problem due to this Rahu in the 12th house placement. Yeah, sure, it can be. Now I want you to do simple remedy just from tomorrow, like at least one meal every single day. Go, just open some, what I can say, like any clothes or like the mattress on the floor, and just sit on that, or sorry, not like mattress, it's like what you call that, carpet or like some cloth, anything like that, just put that on the floor and sit over that and just start eating your meal, or I can say at least your dinner every single evening in your kitchen, inside your kitchen, sitting on the floor inside kitchen. Your Rahu will improve so good, and you will start to feel that your life will becoming better. It's so simple remedy. If you can eat all 3 meals by sitting on the floor in the kitchen, it's fantastic. It's fantastic for Rahu. If you can't, then at least try to do once every single day. Like just fix some meal, like let's say dinner. For dinner every single day, I will sit on the floor in the kitchen and eat food. Your Rahu will improve.